edge. Walker from the Titans, DeMarcus Walker from the Titans. Got Nate Billings, Justin Jones is still there, and then we picked up 2 D tackle from Florida, Dexter Walker, and another one from South Carolina, Zach Pickens, who's both been showing and improving throughout training camp and preseason. So, hey, we got young veterans everywhere. So, don't sit there. I hear a lot of people comparing us to like the Eagles. We're not the Eagles. We did not win 8 games last year. We're not the Eagles, and don't expect us to just shoot up. Now, on a good year, if everything goes well, and I expect them to come out how I expect, they can win 10 games.
Podcast on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on every platform. The Stephen K Show, because it is what it is. Look, we're going to come to you. We have an amazing episode. We brought back an amazing guest. I really want to cover the inner workings of sports entertainment. So we're going to go there. We're going to cover about the new cast, because it's been about a week. And Undisputed, and I've enjoyed the new Undisputed cast, right? Rachel Nichols, Keyshawn Johnson, playmaker Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, and every now and then a cameo from Lil Wayne, Lil Tunechi. It has been exciting, but can it last? We're going to cover that. We're also going to cover the little beef between Ryan and Tua because it's just hysterical. And then lastly, we're going to go for the top 10 athletes in the NFL. But if you want to keep seeing amazing content like this, you know what you got to do? Subscribe, YouTube, CVM. Hey, what is your problem? Hit share, like the notification bell. Bing. Do it today, and where all your podcasts are seen, heard, and felt. So I have with me a special guest. He's been on here several times. The one, the only, stevospeakz. Stevo, how you doing today?
Hey, man, I'm doing good. How you?
Man, I'm here, brother. It's Thursday. I appreciate you. Last time we connected, we had a little Charles Barkley impersonation.
Yeah.
Sure. So I enjoyed it, man. Had to bring you back on because I want to cover this. There's been a lot of rumblings. There's going to be a shakeup. I feel like sports entertainment is the last frontier of true entertainment. Right? Not staged, still competitive, still aggressive, all the things I like. And in sports entertainment, Undisputed has a new cast. It's no longer Skip, Shannon, and whoever else was their third party because they had 3 moderators, or 3 or 4, depending on, right? Yeah, 4, right?
Right. You never know. You really never know.
No, just depends on who they're replacing at that time. No, yeah, you're right. More than 4, because I think Joy Taylor moderated for a little bit. But they have a new bona fide set. Keyshawn, Michael Irvin, Richard Sherman, and Skip Bayless, Lil Tunechi, Lil Wayne, and Rachel Nichols. But others have been on. Not Dak Prescott. Not that. What's the name?
Nah.
Big Emmanuel, Manny Acho. He's been on there. Yeah. It seems like Skip is controlling the world of Fox, of FS1. Is it too little or is it too late?
First of all, when they first came out with this cast, I was sitting here like, okay, hold on, that's a lot of voices. That was the first thing I was like. So, I ain't gonna say it's too late. It just started. I think first of all, the chemistry got to build. That's the first thing I gotta say about this, because the first episode, everybody the whole clip was going around talking about he couldn't get a word in. I was like, that was more of them not getting podcast etiquette or just TV etiquette. Right. So even though all of them been to TV, is different when all them alpha males get together. So yeah, I think it's just gonna take time, but it's almost like a football team. After a certain amount of weeks, you can tell how it's gonna go.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think right now they're kind of in their locker room phase.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out what style matches with what style. Richard Sherman is dominating. So is Michael Irvin. But Michael Irvin and Keyshawn, that's a lot. Michael Irvin, Keyshawn, and Richard Sherman.
Rich, a whole different type of a lot. And Mark, like you said, Michael Irvin can literally go on have a sermon for 5 minutes. So, it's a lot of big personalities, a lot of big voices, and you just got to learn each other because, like you said, if you're going to have all those together at once like that, hey, y'all got to learn how to take turns up with that because it was just a lot of clutter.
A lot. You know what it reminds me of is when teams try to build super teams, but they just start throwing random names together. They'd be like Shaq, Karl Malone.
I call those look good on paper.
They look good on paper. Now, I'm a big fan of Michael Irvin. Michael though needs to. You got to have like almost even kill balance because Michael's going to bring it all the time, but it's always going to come back to Dallas. Mm-hmm. Richard Sherman is great, but Richard Sherman is going to, as the police siren goes by, Richard Sherman is going to Shermanate. And what I mean by that, the big eye expressions, the gasp, the constant, I won't say he picks at Russell Wilson, but he's going to make it.
I would.
He's going to make it a cornerbacks argument, and then Keyshawn is going to be Keyshawn.
Literally, Keyshawn is going to be Keyshawn, and Keyshawn felt like he got that. Like, I'm not gonna say like he just so full of himself, but he gives it off. Like he just knows everything. And I was surprised, to be honest. People haven't really taken like it negatively because I like just certain faces he make and the way he says certain things. I feel like certain people, like if they weren't professional, would be like, so "What you trying to say? Like, why you saying like he gives that off?" And to be honest, quite in their own way, everybody on this cast gives it off in a certain types of ways. So like, yeah, it's going to take a lot. To be honest, I was one of those people that was like, okay, it look good on paper. I'm not going to sit there and act like this is just the new thing. Like they're going to last. Like we can look a year from now and this stuff could be totally broke up. So, like I'm not going to sit there and say it's going to be a success. It has the potential to be, but it's up to them. It's up to them gaining that chemistry or even because at this point it's like, okay, sometimes chemistry just come and then sometimes you can like grow with it. And then I don't know. So as of late, I can't say it's not instant. So we got to see if it's going to grow with him.
That's true. I would say knowing Skip's history, the potential blow up and blow out is going to be with Keyshawn.
Yeah.
Then it's going to be with Michael Irvin.
You think it? To be honest, it might be Richard. Richard was the first person I was like, oh, you want Richard? Like we've seen that whole segment with him.
I feel like he'll pick on Richard because from a physical stature, he's not as opposing as Keyshawn and Michael Irvin. You talking about people both over 6'3".
He's 6'3" too. Sherman's 6'3" too.
He a real 6'3".
Yeah, he was a big corner. That was what I wanted to think about his game. He was a huge corner.
Let's play this clip and let's review it. See how this week has transpired.
Oh, Lord.
As most of you know, Richard Sherman and I once had an infamous clash on ESPN 11 years ago. Roddy White on Twitter. So here we go. And you're about to get mic'd up, hooked up audio-wise, and you have your earpiece in. I can see you in the monitor, but you don't yet have your microphone. Mm-hmm. Me. Mm-hmm. Now give me your side.
Skip, I was getting mic'd. and I could hear you in my ear vamping. And I'm a big time respect guy. So you say I got into this controversy. I usually don't start them, but I'm happy to finish. You run your mouth. Tom was talking that game, so I talked. Revis was talking, got on Twitter, got on a rant. So then I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna put the numbers out there. I'm gonna put the facts. You can argue with your mouth.
You were a numbers guy.
I'm a numbers guy.
You had the numbers to back up your case.
I got the numbers to always back up my case. If I ain't got the numbers, I'm probably not making a case. And so all I can hear is the disrespect in my ear. Skip, I'm sitting there like, not even like, hey, he's in the same ballpark, or he's coming on, or he's not even in the same stratosphere. I said,
so this is to me a prelude to what's to come. I'm glad they addressed it, right? Can they both keep their egos in check? Because Skip, particularly when it comes to NFL. Now, thankfully, this season Tom Brady's not playing, so he really doesn't have a dog in the fight, and he knows the Cowboys are not ready, right? So he's not gonna pull on the cape of Tom Brady. But Skip is going to be Skip, and if Richard senses an uppercut, right, or a low jab, he's going to address it live. He's not going to take the high road because Richard wants the smoke. Is this a setup for failure?
That's why I was leaning to when I first heard Richard coming on. I was like, I don't know. Because, one thing we know about Richard, he ain't backing down for nobody. And if he sniff any type of diss coming on, he going to say something. And to be honest, you're going to see, I'd be surprised if you don't see a segment like they did, like they just going on to, I don't know if people know the segment, but they was going at it, and he was like, Skip, the things players do is you never played, you always talking stuff, you never played, such and stuff. That's bound to happen, especially with them two. You're just two petty people that are petty, and they always going to do it, and then we seen how he is on the field. He's just competitive, so I'm pretty sure he's going to be just as competitive at TV.
Oh, yeah. And 10 years later, even though they're both in different spaces, it's still the same animal. And Richard is going to let Skip know when Skip steps out of pocket. I feel like this is a setup for failure. I want to cover this. This has been hilarious. I don't want to be like hilarious. I mean, I think it was taken out of context. Obviously, Ryan Clark made a comment about Tua not being in shape. Tua said he had muscle, right? Because Tua was trying to protect his body. We all saw what happened last year in the NFL. And, Ryan, I think being Ryan, some things shouldn't be said on camera, but it was lighthearted, right? Tua responded, and then Ryan apologized. And it was one of those things that, honestly, in the grand scheme of things, Ryan was not attacking to his character, to his heart, his ability, his skill set, his belonging in the NFL. It was a body reference. Tua came back and said he's been out of the NFL too long to basically make that comment. But Lou Young, who is hilarious, this little skit, I want to just talk about it. We'll review it here.
To us. We're going to diet quick. John, who the fuck this fucking guy Ryan Clark, bro? Talking shit about me, bro. Talking about gaining weight, bro. Who the fuck's gaining weight?
hey, so
that's
it's the accent. I think that's what's doing it.
Bro, that's how those Samoans talk, for real though.
Yeah,
that's the funny part. I've never heard somebody try to attempt a Samoan accent, and when he first signed, I'm like, bro, he sound like a West Coast Samoan. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's funny. And I think both sides can say Lou Young, imitating both of them are funny, right? And then eating popcorn on the couch while watching Ryan Clark. That's funny. It's a low blow shot, but I don't think there's anything harmful that Ryan said or even the response that Tua gave. Here's where I think you got to stand on what you do. you can't backtrack the comment. You can't make a Twitter. You can't make a written and a verbal video. Saw the apology from Ryan. I get it from a professional standpoint that was needed, but then kind of say, hey, look, I fed my family through violence. I understand how to make it out here. I wasn't trying to harm you, but if I offended you, because it was like an apology, but it wasn't an apology. But it was like, hey, look, just in case my boss says something, I already have this in the pocket. It just seemed false, right? And it's like you're doing it to cover, but there was nothing to cover. You didn't do anything defamatory. You didn't slander his name or his ability. All you said is Tua look a little bit out of shape. And I don't know, camera angles, just Tua look like heavier. Yeah, but not like fatter. I mean, he's probably worked on adding muscle. But, because you don't see like Tua working out with The Rock or anything like that, it's like, well, is Tua really exercising? What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, at first I was like kind of feeling how you felt, but then I kind of understood why he apologized, because at the same time, for one, I think he was looking at the aspect of everybody was shocked for him to even Tua to even say anything, because he don't say nothing. So it was like, I think everybody was like, first thought was like, dang, yeah, you kind of offended him because he don't say nothing. He's not, more 9 times out of 10, he's not going to really bring anything up. He's just going to go about his business. And then you just think back from his whole time from Alabama to now, getting drafted. Is he too small? Like, does he have the physical capabilities to do so? He dealt with an injured hip coming into the league. That notorious hit he had in Alabama. So, and then come into the league last year having them concussion problems. Everybody talking about how frail he looks and everything. How now he's to the point where everybody's like, okay, it went to a point. It got so serious. It was like, dude, this dude even want to. Is it good for this dude to keep playing football? And he like, bro, all right. Maybe I should get bigger. So I'm going to start taking judo. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to learn how to fall. I'm going to start lifting weights so I can prepare my body to take the punishment I've been dealing with. And then I get to this point now that I'm starting to physically look bigger. And then you come out making jokes. It's like, dude, can I catch a break? Yeah. That's what I feel. It was like, dude, it's almost like a boiling point. Like, bro, y'all always talking crazy. Now I do what y'all say and y'all still talking crazy. So he's like, nah. His Samoan came out. Nah, bro, you keep talking like I'm not tough, bro. We gonna do it, bro. My uncles, we going in the back and we fight so we could, like he said, we could get scrappy.
It did say we could get scrappy.
We could get scrappy, and I think, like I told you before we press record, or go live. I was like, his inner, as a black man, we are already on attack when it comes to masculinity, so we don't want to let any type of thing slide by us. So I think he was genuinely apologizing because he realized how it came off and how it felt if he was Tua dealing with everything he dealt with, but he still just put it out there like, yeah, I'll scrap though if you still want to scrap. So, but I think it was a genuine apology though.
Yeah, I think it was I think it was a needed apology. Genuine, maybe, but needed. But like you said, I think Tua has been defending his place. Going to the Miami Dolphins when they really didn't have anybody. Still in a bad situation. Bowles, right when he came there, his coach was trying to get rid of him, said Tua wasn't the person, and then accused the organization of racism, then gets fired. They bring in McDaniels, and Tua's that's a really shaky environment, and then to hear this, probably would send you over the edge, right? Considering everybody already has either Patty or Joe Burrow a dead lock for next year, and then Jalen Hurts being a third. We're going to get back into a quick word from our sponsor.
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid-free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
www.cvmkglobal.store, guys. I got the Protein Women Transform. I want you to get it. I want you to help yourself. Help you. Today. Right. Use CVMK for 15% off. There's a sale going on. You could get, I think, 20 or 30% off. But you got to go on the website to find out. www.cvmk. Cody Vernon Marshall, CVMKglobal.store. Look, back to Ryan Clark. Funny, just won an Emmy. Right? He is Broadcaster of the Year. Sky's the limit. And I think that, I'm not saying feeling himself. I think that it creates leverage, right? I've noticed that Ryan Clark is becoming a bit more emboldened to really share his views from a what I would say, academic side. And there's nothing wrong with that because commentators do it all the time. Should there be, or is it healthy for analysts to comment on athletes in this type of fashion?
I mean, yeah, no, because like I think he's getting to the point where he's starting to realize, like, at this point, he's not getting necessarily just paid for his analytic side. It's him as a personality. So he's getting to a point now where he's just allowing his real personality to shine.
Right.
And I don't think people, like, I mean, of course, the sports world that watch him on a regular, they kind of understand his joking ways and the way he go about things. But to other people, he's still kind of fairly new to the social media TV game. So it's like, I don't think everybody really quite understand, like, versus like a Stephen A. Smith, you just understand where he coming from, like, for the most part. Like, this is understandable. The big names, the Skip Baylesses, you understand. From him, I don't think it's still a newish way. He on a podcast. To be honest, he's everywhere. Like, he's all over ESPN, different type of shows, podcasts here and there. So I think he just getting to a space where he's trying to push the personality and like not so much going into the analytical part, which is how it is. To make your mark on it is you got to know your stuff, and that you got to peak some personality, and then once that goes, usually your personality takes over the show, and that's what makes you the main attraction to why he's one of the most known dudes right now. But yeah, I think it's a way, like, to say, like, no, he shouldn't, but like, it's sports, is going to happen. Jokes and stuff is going to happen. So to what I would say to respond to that, I would just like prepare for a Tua situation to happen. Everybody's not going to sit there and be jokey with you. Right. And that's one thing I think that's why I look up to Stephen A. so much, because he said it now to, like, even now, like, I understand when the times I got personal, it was wrong, but I was ready for it. And I think that's one thing people I don't think he's going to run into it, but I noticed that a lot of people, when they show their personality and they try to do everything, they're not ready for that feedback coming back towards them as they're giving out.
Right.
Stephen A. can dish in and take it.
He can. He'll come up on your podcast too. He went on Paul George's podcast.
And Ryan Clark is another one. I feel like if he gonna do this certain things, he could dish in and take it.
Yeah, he can't. I feel like Ryan will roll up on you. Like, you'd be like, look.
No, Ryan will. That's the one thing. That's the one thing. When I was like, the first thing I got to my stuff, I was like, all right, Tua, he real scrap with you. Like, he not playing. Like,
he really not playing.
You look up Ryan Clark highlights tapes. He popping everybody he see, and he the smallest mug on the field.
Right. Hey, and then Lou Young didn't make it any better with he's like, man, I'm Samoan, bro. And then he kept singing Moana. That's when it got ignorant.
Bro, he's Moana, we have come. I threw my phone.
Hold on, I might pass forward to that. Hold on.
What I do on that.
Yeah, the press conference was the funniest part.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Combination. Like,
domination.
My Samoan background, like, we don't take lightly to threats. We're naturally big boned. That's we're gonna keep this up, bro. Like
I can't. Lou is the fool for this.
You keep it up, bro.
Like, gonna keep it up. All right, so let's go to the top NFL ranking. We put out a list, top 100 athletes. This is their top 10. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, Jalen Hurts, Nick Bosa, Travis Kelce, Joe Burrow, Tyreek Hill, Josh Allen, Micah Parsons, and Chris Jones. Is there anything wrong with this list?
Yep.
What?
I love you, Jalen Hurts, but you are not better than Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. How are they not on this top list?
He's not better than Joe Burrow, but he is better than Josh Allen.
Yeah, I ain't seen him throw for 5,000 yards.
Not arm wise, leading wise.
I mean, that was 1 year.
That was 1 year. Okay, I'm not gonna.
I'm not trying to sit here and disrespect Jalen Hurts in no stretch degree. He had an amazing season.
It was a Super Bowl.
But let's get this straight. It was a season. He could fall flat on his face this year. It's possible.
He could.
I'm just saying, like, the reason I will pick that way in the ranking because I go off of the duality of your career, not just what have you done last year. I think a lot of these rankings is what have you done last year, and I'm like, you can't really do it that way.
Well, I mean, if you do that, then Nick Bosa is definitely not number 4.
Right.
You know, Justin Jefferson, okay, 2. I'm okay with that. Burrow should be 2 or 3. Yeah. Justin should be maybe swapped.
I'm not too upset.
Higher.
You said who should be higher?
Travis Kelce should be higher.
Travis definitely should have been higher. Travis should have probably been in the top 5.
Yep, and then Micah Parsons should have been number 6.
Michael Parsons, yep.
You know, but you know, I think relevancy. They call it, you know, recent biases.
Chris Jones in the top 10.
Yeah, I saw that over Arnold from the Rams.
Aaron Donald.
Yes. Aaron Donald was actually number 11, which I don't know how Chris Jones outranked.
I think because he got hurt.
That's it. But over a career span, Chris Jones is not number 10.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't say that, but
I like Chris Jones. He's definitely nice, but top 10, I don't know.
Man. You could put. I mean, Chris is top 20.
Yeah, top 15. I put him top 15.
Yeah.
Is there only one wide receiver in this one?
Yeah, it's just Justin.
I love Justin. I still love. Don't get me wrong. I think he's probably one. He probably the second. He's not better than Adams yet. He's not better than Devontae Adams. Like I'm tired and this saying something because I can't stand people that used to be Packers. But get that man. He ain't, bro. When it comes to the wide receiver position, for the way he been doing it all these years at his age,
right,
and still currently, but Justin, there's no better wide receiver better than him.
Who's throwing the ball to Devontae?
Right now would be Jimmy Garoppolo.
Right, Jimmy G. Right, right. That's what I'm saying. That's what hurts Devontae. Not that
he still got over 1,100 yards last year with like more than one quarterback.
That's true, but that's the issue is like Devontae can't depend on a quarterback's consistency. And then Justin,
I mean, can you say that for Justin? It's Kirk Cousins.
It is.
It's like
that almost makes Justin argument. I mean, Kirk
good. He just not
great. He just
He not even. He good to it's time to be good. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, he doesn't have. I get what you said. The it factor like that.
Yeah,
like
that. He's a certified game manager, which is not a disrespect. That's just what he is.
He's what Jay Cutler should have been.
Yeah, but Jay was a gunslinger, so
right. But the problem is Jay had an arm and he liked to use it, and that would make you think that man Jay could throw for 5,000 yards.
Yeah, Jay, he should have. The way if Jay cared, he could have been a great quarterback. That's the whole thing. If he cared, but he didn't.
Jay didn't care, man. Jay said on that. I remember he said on that playoff game on that bike, like I'm not going back in. In Philly, bro,
I'm not doing it.
Hey, Jay said, "Hey, I'm not going. I don't care what y'all say.
And wasn't that the year after? Wasn't that the year after he got hurt?
Yes, but that's when they had Brandon Marshall, bro. We almost won with, what was it, Caleb? We had McCown.
Yeah, Josh
McCown, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, Jay was like, hey, look, not today.
I'm not going in there. Oh, I'm good. He was not having it. He did not care. But yeah, like, I like to go back to it. Like, don't get me wrong, Justin Jefferson. If you got him as one, I'm not like tripping.
Yeah.
Like, I had somebody try to tell me, like, bro, Tyreek is a way better route runner than Devontae Adams. I'm like, you're not watching football. You're not really sitting down and watching him.
He has more athleticism. I don't know about a route runner.
The speed. That's what I killed him on that whole argument with him, because I was like, bro, you don't realize he don't need to run routes perfectly because he's so fast. So he never worked on perfecting crisp routes. And then when it comes to route tree, he definitely don't have as many routes as Adams or JJ. So and then like I said, and I take away he's my third best wide receiver in the league. But like, see, people were saying that he was a better route runner than Adams. I was like, bro, watch some tape. And I'm not talking highlights. Watch tape.
Watch the tape. We'll be back in a quick word from our sponsors.
I literally just tried the best pre-workout on the planet. With Superpower pre-workout, you have increased focus and a power boost every single time you work out. It's not only packed with 225 milligrams of caffeine, but it also has citrulline and creatine. It's insane how much energy and focus I had during my workouts. If you're ready to take your workouts to the next level, then ditch your current pre-workout and get the Superpower pre-workout to be your own hero.
Y'all, get it today. What y'all waiting on? I took it this morning when I hit ARMS. Superpower, www.cbmkglobal.store. When we come into the beginning of a season, there are a lot of expectations. I had a great conversation this morning. I was on the treadmill, going at it, walking, not running. I was sleeping. And and I'm talking about the NFL and what to expect. And we were going over the Bears, you know, because 4,500 yards is the projection. You know, this is the argument is this is Justin Fields' year. And I'm just wondering, have we overlooked, like, maybe even with the shaky roster that the Bears have, and it's shaky, it's not solid. If somebody says it's solid, they're lying. It's not solid. They're in a weak division. They're shaky at best, but they're better. They're just a better shaky, right? Are we looking at the new face, new coming of an athlete, or are we looking at another Vince Young, Cordell Stewart type?
I will say no, because like I said, for the people that's worried about Justin, first of all, coming into what he came into, like I've told people, it's probably the worst situation in history for a quarterback to come into. I can't think of no quarterback that's been in a worse situation. Now, Pat, what's the dude with the head? He's got a brother, Eli brother, Peyton. Yeah, not Peyton, not Tom, like none of them. Like everybody was in, even though people like to say Pat, I'm like, Pat was in a great situation. Y'all just don't realize it. He was in a perfect situation. So, to me, for one, this is my breakdown when it comes to Justin Fields. Because like I said, I've been watching Justin Fields since he was about 15 years old. One, he's always been mindset a passer. Mm-hmm. That's number one. So coming into his first few years in the NFL is pretty foreign to him. Not completely. He ran for a considerable amount in high school, but once he got to Ohio State in Georgia, he was pretty much thrown. He was pretty much picking up pocket passes. He wasn't even rolling out like that. He could, but he wasn't. So you had that, and then he got put into a situation where the O-line was terrible, and the best player he had on his team was a 3, which is Darnell Mooney, maybe a 2.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt. And then it was like, okay, what's one thing we know how to do? Run. Okay, Justin, we're going to run. And it was never out of necessity. It was out of survival last year. It was literally out of survival. And then once that happened, once we switched that up in week 7, we were scoring like 28 points a game after that.
Listen to this lineup. Chase Claypool, DJ Montgomery, Velus Jones Jr., Darnell Mooney, DJ Moore. I said Montgomery, but DJ Moore, and Tyler Scott and Equanimous St. Brown.
Trash.
Right. I'm looking also at the rounds drafted, or not rounds, but years of experience. Nobody over 10. So we got a nice young core. But when you look at kind of some of their programs that these athletes matriculated through, I'm not seeing any Alabama, Florida. You know,
that's what you worried about.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying you always have to come through a pedigree, but I am saying like, hey, you know,
man, if you could play, you could play.
You can play. You can play. You can play. You can play. What I'm saying is, you have to read. Okay, so you have a core with no true number one. I mean, DJ Moore is a number one. I'm talking about a number one in the top 50 athletes of the NFL, or the top 100. Nobody makes the list.
Justin did, but
Justin did. I'm talking about to throw to. I'm not talking about.
I mean, I think DJ could be that. It was just he was in a place where there was no media coverage. He didn't have a stable quarterback, but he still got 1,000 yards every year. So you get somebody that's a little bit more assistant and consistent, and then the way he get yak off this scheme, it can turn him into a top 100 type player.
6 feet, 210, born 1997. DJ Moore, 63 receptions, 888 receiving yards, 7 TDs. Last year, that is his stat. He had a long one of 62, average 14.1 yards per catch.
Getting thrown the ball by somebody we just cut.
True enough. A first round pick, not bad, out of Maryland, pick number 24. So he is the person, right? He's the guy, and hopefully they have good success. And
a solid running back. I think. Let me just give you a whole breakdown.
All right.
So you got the first thing, the strongest suit was our running. So we got Khalil Herbert. We picked up Dante Former, who would have been 1,000-yard back from Carolina, but he came into the league. He wasn't starting, so he started later in the year and still got 909. Right. We got Roshan Johnson, who's the backup of Bijan Robinson in Texas. And if you listen to anybody from Texas, they're like, bro, he could have started anywhere in the country. He decided to stay and be behind Bijan. And he's probably, according to our staff, the Bears staff, he's one of the leaders of this team already as a rookie and a running back per se. He's a pretty much all around running back. So, and the general consistency around the whole Chicagoland area is, by the time this year is over, don't be surprised if he started, because that's just how good he is. So you got you definitely got 3 solid running backs in the backfield. You just paid Cole Kmet, which is he's a top 10 tight end in the league. Then you picked up Robert Tonyan from Green Bay, who's also a pretty good tight end, especially catching, and had his best years in this offense. Yes, it was with Aaron Rodgers, but it was still in his offense. But you got him, and then we stole Mercedes Lewis too. So we got a lot of Green Bay Packers. That's Bears right now. We also got the OC Luke Getsy, who we not all the way sold on. So it's just a lot of things. That's just the offensive side, and then you look at the defensive side. To me, I'm the most confident ever I've been in this secondary than I've been in years. The secondary is going to be for real. Kyler Gordon down there in the nickel now. He looks like he should have been there his whole time. Tyreek Stevenson, who we just drafted, look like he's going to be our number 2. Got a lot of upside. Don't be surprised if he's leading in rookies and interceptions. Jalen Johnson, he's very consistent for the most part. But he's in a contract year, so he's going to be trying to make some splash plays so he can get paid. Eddie Jackson then finally woke up, had about 6, I believe he had about 6 interceptions before he went down and got hurt. And we got the second-year guy, Jaquan Brisker at safety. He hit everything that moved, and he's always around the ball. Yep. And then we upgraded the linebacker core. We got Tremaine Edmonds from who's 25 from the Bills. Very young, nice up-and-coming dude to replace Roquan. He fits in the scheme more, so that's why a lot of people's like, I don't know if he better Roquan. It's not about who's better. It's because we changed the scheme, and that's why Roquan didn't look like Roquan when he was here, because he was a different scheme.
Right.
So we send him away to a scheme that he's better in. That's gone. We also got a dude that was in the Super Bowl right next to him, the linebacker T.J. Edwards. So he's going to hold it down. They're both going to hold it down. Then we also still got Jack Sanborn, who we had last year. So, and they picked up Noah Sewell from Oregon. So the defense, the only question that we really have about that's we really concerned is the D-line, but we picked up Yannick Ngakoue, who's on the edge. Walker from the Titans, DeMarcus Walker from the Titans. Got Nate Billings, Justin Jones is still there, and then we picked up 2 D tackles from Florida, Dexter Walker, and another one from South Carolina, Zach Pickens, who's both been showing and improving throughout training camp and preseason. So, hey, we got young veterans, everywhere. So, don't sit there. I hear a lot of people comparing us to like the Eagles. We're not the Eagles. We did not win 8 games last year. We're not the Eagles, and don't expect us to just shoot up. Now, on a good year, if everything goes well, and I expect them to come out how I expect, they can win 10 games. But I won't be surprised if it's 7 or a 7-9 or 8-8 season. I won't be surprised, and that's not bad.
All right. I was going to ask you that. It's going to be 8-8 or 9-7. I have best case scenario for the Bears going 10-6.
Yeah, 10-6. I said 10-9 or whatever.
10 is. I think that 8-8 is probably their lane, but I think 10-6 is probably what they're going to settle on. But if they turn it around and they get hot, because sometimes you can just click at the right time.
Yeah, and then that's another thing. Like, I think this big misconception is like, oh, they won 3 games last year. Bro, all them games after week 6 was one, and not even pretty much every game we went in this season was 1-score games. And you probably lost it on the last drive. So we could have been a 7-8 team easily, but it just the cookie didn't crumb our way. So it is what it is. But I just don't think this big misconception that we was terrible. Like, we traded Khalil Mack, we traded Roquan, we traded hair. I can't think of his name. He got bad hairline, but but we traded him to Philly, which happened to be a good thing because he ain't done nothing since. But he's having some outside of football issues too. So we dodged the bullet with that. But if we just kept them, there was no way we were just going to win 3 games.
No.
And then while trading them, we were still competitive. We found our stride in the offense. It was pretty much the defense that was getting scored on, and while we lost most of them games. So that's one thing I want to get people out of their head. We're not a 3-win team. Realistically, yeah, that's how it came out towards last year, but realistically, we're not that.
We shall see.
We shall see, though. It's definitely we shall see. Justin, hey, I expect you to do things, but hey, I'm calling it how I see it, and especially after this last preseason game, you're going to have to be coming out sharp because you was tripping.
Justin, my word of advice, ball out this season, and if the Bears don't get you any help, request a trade.
Hey, he can honestly, we gave him help. This is help. This is plenty of help.
This is a nice little.
He really have nothing. If it don't work out, I mean, we can maybe blame the O-line. That's another concern I'm still concerned on. Tevin Jenkins out for the first 4 games, so I'm a little worried about that. Nate Davis He been having a little weird training camp. We just heard from Eberflus said it was a mixture between injuries and other problems, other issues. And I'm like, okay, what's the other issues? Like, we just paid you $30 million. I don't need no issues. So I'm not sold on the line. Yeah, we got the rookie out there moving Lucas Packers to the center, Cody Whitehead to the left guard, and we got our rookie, our second year dude at left tackle. Braxton, hope that he didn't improve because that bum rush was killing him last year. But yeah, that's pretty much the main concerns right now is the lines. Both the lines. I like it. Steve-O, I appreciate you, brother. Where can they connect with you, my man? Hey, man, follow me on stevospeakz on everything. Hey, Bears is about to start, so make sure y'all tune this to NBACentral. I'm going to be there every game. Y'all just check me. I'm going to be losing my mind. It's my favorite time of the year. Hey, y'all forgive me for what y'all see, because like I said, Bears, they can mess my whole week up. That's how much I love football. So.
And we're going to put more Lou Young videos of other people. They start doing this. If you want to keep seeing the best podcast CBMK show, because it is what it is, you know what you got to do. Hit the notification button right now. CBMK, www.cbmkglobal.store, Instagram, CBMK33, CBMK_global. It is what it is, _show, where it goes down. TikTok, CBMK Globe. I think where am I? Tumblr, CBMK_global. My gosh, everywhere. All you gotta do is put it in Google. You'll find it. But until next time, guys.
If you think exercise alone got me looking like this, well, think again. CBMK Global Super Thick got me right. I'm obsessed, and yeah, I won't stop talking about it because it helped me grow in all the right places. Its creatine provides a fast and reliable way to increase your power, size, and shape, and it's scientifically proven to help you reach your physical goals in a safe, controlled manner. So if you want to increase muscle size, pump, and thickness in your muscle groups, you need Super Thick.